from the New Day. Give me that whole yeah. Give it to me. I need it.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Gimme a Whole Year Wrestling Podcast. My name is Anne, and today, in my first top 5 picks video of 2022, I'm looking at WWE and specifically what it can do to engage me again as a fan of the product. As most of you know that watch the podcast, I fell out of love with WWE through 2021. I saw a bit of backlash and I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I need a break from it. I've had my break. I'm watching it again on the channel, on Royal Rumble. Come and join us tonight for that. Maybe it'll be exciting. Maybe Big E will be the person that walks out the Rumble. Who the hell knows? We will find out. But I wanted to do a top 5 picks of what WWE can improve, in my opinion, to get me engaged again as a fan. And this is just my opinion. That's all it is. I want to hear your opinions down below, but I also want you to be respectful, both of your opinion and others' opinions as well. Like, we've all got different opinions on this. Some people love WWE, some people have issues. And I've got 5 picks of what my issues are, but like a lot of them cross over into each other. But the number one is really important and actually something I don't know how they're going to prove that they've changed. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go at number 5. And in at number 5, the thing that I'd like to see WWE improve on is wrestling. They're a wrestling company that have some of the most incredible talent in the world. Guys like Finn Balor, guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler, I've not seen him for a long time, Robert Roode, all sorts of incredible wrestling talent. And we don't get to see them wrestle. Each week on TV, they're given 2-minute matches or 8-minute matches with a 3-minute break between them. And we're not given the time to see these performers wrestle. I'd love to see them wrestle more. Instead of putting someone like Shinsuke Nakamura in a 2-minute match every other week, give me a 15-minute match with him. He's incredible. Give him time to tell the story in the ring. If he's not on TV for the next 2-3 weeks, that's cool. Just give me that actual moment of wrestling. And if there was to do that, I think the product would be a lot more engaging and we'd all be talking about WWE in a different light. I know that it's sports entertainment. I know that wrestling isn't the only thing that the company do. They also play with soap opera, which I don't think they do very well either. But wrestling, get that down. You've got the talent to do it. Give them the time, give them the freedom to be able to do that. And WWE has had products that do that. Look at NXT a few years ago when guys like Finn Balor was in it, guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, when Drew McIntyre was in it, Samoa Joe. It was an hour-long product that had 3 matches most week. It wasn't the same people all the time. It was completely different. And they'd have feuds that would go on and we wouldn't be watching the same thing week in, week out with 2-minute matches. That actually give us stuff and give us development as things went on. And so, I mean, we'll talk a bit more about some of them other issues as we go in, but let's go into number 4. And this is difficult because it's about brands. It's about the size of WWE. I mean, Raw is 3 hours. SmackDown is 2 hours. NXT is now 2 hours. NXT UK is 1 hour. 205, if that's still a thing, is 1 hour. Main events an hour. Talk shows, network specials, pay-per-views. Here's some more to watch. It's a hell of a lot. And if you're going to give us this much product, it's got to be good. It's got to be worth watching. But how can we watch it when the brands don't even seem to be linked to the same company? Take Piper Niven, for example, one of the keystones of NXT UK at one point, certainly within the women's division when Kaylee Ray was there, turns up on Raw and suddenly she's Dewdrop. Completely different. And for no reason. So from moving from one brand to the next, why should I be invested in developmental anymore? We've seen it multiple times with talent on NXT. Robert Roode, champion, wonderful heel businessman, goes up onto Raw, starts smiling. Or SmackDown, smiley Roode. It's a complete character change with no sense. It's creative driving something, but not telling us as fans what has what has simulated that change, I guess, is probably a really bad way of saying with it. But if there's no cohesion between the brands, especially developmental brands, what's the point in watching them? What is the point in watching them? My next point that I'd like to see WWE change is, we talked about it a little bit in the last one, is characters. Characters need to go through logical progression. It's what we expect in all of our media outlets these days, be that video games, be that movies, even music. When music goes too far one way or the other from the actual genre that it's in, we sort of go, whoa, not as keen on that, or I love it, or what have you. I mean, it's so different. But moving from NXT to main roster doesn't change your character. We need to see that. Again, as I made in the last comment, like we need to see what the changes are, and also stop letting characters be these plonkers that don't watch the show. Like, if someone's saying something about someone in a backstage segment, by the next week they'd have seen it. They're watching the product. We don't need to believe that they're making these terrible decisions all the time. And then creative decisions. God, same thing, Gunther, man. Gunther. Why? Why? Tell me why. Karrion Kross, hey up, mate. Hey up, come on onto Raw. Jeff Hardy, squash is going to beat you, but the week after we've got a gimmick for you. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. You are Demolition Member 4. Why? You'll love it. You'll love it. The performers don't get it. We don't get it either. All stories rely on character arcs. The wrestlers are just playing, performing characters. That's all they are. If you was watching the new Spider-Man movie and Spider-Man did something completely out of character, completely changed from the next scene, would you accept it? No. And we should expect the same with wrestling. Then we could talk about how releases affects this in terms of character. Like, as fans, we're watching a product, suddenly a release is made, Braun Strowman's gone, who is our current champion. If I'm not following the wrestling news, I know nothing about that. I'm just lost a character. Back in the Attitude Era, things actually, when people were written out of stories, people were losing contracts and would be written out of the show by a way that makes sense, instead of it just happening. Characters just disappearing. Changing for no reason. It's bizarre. The next one, I think we can all agree on, man. Them stories. Them writers. Oh. What are they doing? Well, it might not be them. It might be someone in charge that's changing everything at the last minute. But every so often, WWE hits creative brilliance, something like the Roman Reigns storyline that they give a lot of time to. And we see a lot of character development, and we see progression through it, and we see the steps it's taking to go to the next step. And it makes sense. But they don't always give that care and attention to the guys at the bottom of the card, people like Dana Brooke, who tries to create these characters, who tries to create these storylines, and they can't run with it because they've invested so much in something else. Like, if you look at an incidental storyline, like the Mandy Rose Otis thing, that was actually really good. Sonya Deville, Dolph Ziggler, really good story a few years ago. And it feels like it suddenly just gets taken off TV because it's engaging people, and they're not the guys that want people to engage with at that point, which makes no sense. I need better stories. I want to be excited again about watching wrestling and not the same old stuff. Give me reasons why these people are going at each other. Give me a purpose for it. You know, one of the stories that was great in the last few years was The Fiend. And not necessarily the Fiend character, because I was iffy with that anyway. But one of the things that was great was the whole story of him going into matches and changing people, seeing a definite change in them. That was great. Yet they don't sort of hold on to it, because then they put him in a feud with someone that they don't want to change character, and then they just go, "Oh, we're going to scrap all that." Well done for figuring that one out, internet. You've done a great job of pointing that out. We're not going to do it. We don't care for it. Retribution could have been a great story. Ended up being garbage. Ended up being absolute garbage. Partly because they refused to put them over against anyone. And so, yeah. Stories. Also, we know what's happened in the past in WWE. Like, we've seen what's happened. Like, acknowledge it with storylines moving forward. Acknowledge them beats that we've seen, even if it was a year ago, even if it was 2 years ago. That's cool. We know that there might have been different characters, but at the same time, we need to see that progression. They don't do that with enough people, in my opinion. And my number one thing that I'd like to see change, that I don't even know how you'd quantify it. It's all about respect, right? And before we talk about the obvious thing of respect with the employees, let's talk about fan respect. Give us a bit of respect, yeah, for what we're watching. We love the history of the product. We discuss it online. We discuss it with our friends at work or at play or family. Don't throw it in our faces. Don't have angles. I mean, there's rumors of the Hell in a Cell match with the Fiend a couple of years ago. They did it because they knew it'd annoy the fans. That's not showing the fans respect. That's not showing the lovers of your product respect. Or giving the title to Goldberg. Like, fans were crying out, "Don't do it!" Don't do it, and it happens. And then let's speak about Goldberg. Let's speak about Legends and the use of Legends and how they come back for these throwback episodes, which are basically just YouTube clickbait these days, where they just make a load of content which either humiliates the Legends or humiliates the emerging stars. How about using them people to put over the new products? How about using them people to put over the emerging stars? Isn't that what it should be there for, as opposed to YouTube clickbait, which is all it is? I mean, they're childhood heroes of ours, and we see them either being used in a comic way that's just goofy, or hurting the modern product. It's weird, and this is a big one for me, and it's all about respect, man, on so many levels, and it's respect for the employees. I find it hard to support a company who, in my opinion, doesn't treat their employees in a fair manner. It's evidenced in conversations that we've heard outside from wrestlers who have been released from WWE, talking about frustrations within creative, not able to have their voice heard. As a human, imagine being in a place where your voice isn't heard, where everything that you do is controlled constantly. I understand it's a TV product, but there needs to be discussion, because these people have created these characters. It's their work. They've created a lot of them outside of WWE. The other thing is taking away creative outlets from them. Twitch, taking that away. Like, that was a creative outlet for people in a pandemic when things were really tough, and they were doing what they could to entertain people. But at the same time, while they were stuck in their own houses, they tried to engage with the community outside of the direct work colleagues or what have you. They tried to create their own community. WWE didn't like that and said no to Twitch. No, you're not doing it anymore. We'll create our own platform for you to do stuff like this on, but it's not going to be on Twitch anymore. We don't want you making money from it. We don't want you engaging with the community. We don't. That's really bad, man. Especially for people who were using it as an outlet for community, and now we're talking about mental health and how that affects them. They said about creating a new platform similar to Twitch for the wrestlers to do. It's been 2 years, a year and a half. We haven't seen anything. So just banned all the wrestlers off Twitch. And then it's highlighted by the fact that they don't have a union. I've put on the banner there equity. That's the British Actors Union. Screen Actors Guild would be the American one. The fact that they don't allow a union to consult and negotiate on behalf of the employees is beyond ridiculous in this day and age. The reason they don't want to negotiate with the employees is because they just want to tell them what to do, whether it's fair or not fair. What happens if there are issues within the company? What happens if I have a complaint against someone or a grievance against someone and I want to put that in? How do I resolve that? I go to management and they tell me, well, whatever. I don't know that happens. I just know that these performers, these independent contractors, don't have a union, and I think that that's appalling. Absolutely appalling. They want to own all the rights. They want to own people and tell them what to do. And I have a serious problem with that. So I'm watching the Royal Rumble. I'm hoping I can enjoy it. I'm hoping I can enjoy what the talent does, because God knows they've got incredible talent who can do incredible things. But that's the reason I've sort of stepped away from WWE. They're the reasons that I can't fall in love with the product as I once was. And I hope it can change. I really do hope it can change, because I love wrestling and I want to see more wrestling in the future. Look, hey, just my opinions. If you've watched this full video through, thank you so much. Hit that like button. Let me know that you have, and write a comment down below, man. Write a comment down below, and let's have a conversation about it. What would you like to see changed in WWE? Maybe you love the product. Maybe you think it's right. Maybe you think it's perfect. Maybe you don't think that these are issues. Maybe you think it's just internet hearsay that is causing these issues. Maybe, I don't know. It's cool. Whatever your opinion is, I want to hear from it. I'm interested to hear it. We can have a conversation about it, and join us for one of the live streams in the future if you want to. We can talk more about wrestling. We can talk more about all sorts. So subscribe to the channel and turn the notifications on to find out when the next video is coming out. Guys, I got a bit heavy at the end, didn't it? That's all right. That's all right. Sometimes some things are serious, and I think that's one of them. Guys, it's been absolutely awesome talking to you. Please check out the rest of the content on the channel, and I will see you next time. Hull yeah, brother. Hull yeah.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Hull Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.